So anything you like to ask before starting this? Okay, so let us continue the CDM life cycle. So total we can say overall 9 steps, and in this 9 step there are different parties to involve. The main is project developer, who is going to earn CER, certified emission reduction. Then once he obtains CER, he can sell the CER. Okay, so this is the business model, and the different stages we already discussed. Here project developer, then designated operational entity, then designated national authority, and CDM executive board. They have different roles. Okay, so just revise. So we discuss who can participate in the CDM project. Any government organization, private industry, or NGOs, they can participate in this CDM project. We have all discussed it. Then one is this designated operational entities. They are the organization. Normally they validate the CDM project, and they also issue the certificate, or we can say they are the validator or the certifier of the CDM project, and also CER, that is emission certified emission reduction. One such example of this designated operational entity, you can the list is available in the UNFCCC's website. That is United Framework Convention on Climate Change, right? This validators list available. I have given one such example of validator is from India. This is they are like auditors. Such example is EPIC Sustainability Services Private Limited. That is a Bangalore-based industry company who acts a DOE for the CDM projects. So like that, there are also many DOEs in the international level. Okay. Then the other stakeholders are CDM executive board. That is the final board who who look after the final grant of the CDM project. So their main task is reports to UNFCCC, and normally this board have a 10 members. They review project validation and verification reports and issue also CRs. Other stakeholders, local stakeholders comment on PDD, that is a project design document before host country approval, and other interested parties, that is comment on PDD. So in the step one, it can be subdivided into three categories: identification of the project, then pre-screening of CDM applicability, then development of feasibility study. So this we have already discussed in last lecture. Then project developer prepare spin, that is project idea note. Then this is the guidelines are 5 pages report, project type, size, location, greenhouse gas reductions, suggested crediting lifetime and CER price, financial structure, and other socio-economic and environmental benefits. So this should be the content of a project idea note. Then the step 3 is, that is PDD, develop project design document. So what are the contents of the project design document? The contents are general description of the project, setting of the baseline. Baseline means the reference, carbon footprint, and duration of the project, crediting period, for example 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, like that. Setting of the monitoring plan, the methodology for the greenhouse gas emission monitor and calculation, estimation of the GHG emission reductions, environmental impacts, then stakeholders comments. So this the design document should contain, and it should contain also many annex. Annex 1, contact information on participants, information regarding public funding, baseline information, and monitoring plan. Detail given in the annex. So these are the typical contents of a project design document. Then baseline methodology, that is the methodology adopted to calculate greenhouse gas emission at reference point is known as baseline methodology. Statement of which approved methodology has been selected. So there are some guidelines how to calculate the CO2 emission or GHG emission. There are few guidelines. So which guidelines they have adopted, they have to mention. Then description of how the approved methodology will be applied in the project. Okay, somebody has given title Zoom is not safe. So who is this? Could you please tell your name? I am not able to identify. Okay. Then how the baseline methodology, it should have description of the baseline methodology and justification of choice, including assessment of strength and weakness of the methodology. So one case study we will see maybe next maybe tomorrow, how the baseline scenario is framed. Description of key parameters, data source, and assumption used in this baseline is estimate and assessment of uncertainties, projections of baseline emissions, description of how the baseline methodology address the potential leakage. So this document should address all these points. Then carbon credit can be generated as from banking by buyers for use towards compliance in this mandatory period 2008 to 2012. But now it is already passed. So now the CDM project should have prominent cell in later years. Okay. So okay, then what is the crediting period? Usually at the start of the project operation, fixed crediting period up to 10 years, renewable crediting period up to 10 years. Okay. So then the yearly verification and certification, it's a crediting period. Yeah. There is a fixing crediting period up to 10 years. Some projects have a crediting period up to 10 years, but some long-term projects can have up to 21 years, but 7 years multiplied into 3. 7 plus 7 plus 3, 7. That is renewed after 7 years. Then step 4. So once PDD is prepared, then submission of PDD and host country approval to validator. So the same PDD will be submitted to host country approval. Host country approval will be within that country. CDM projects are international projects. So first it has to be approved by the host country, and in this host country, for example, it has to be approved by Ministry of Environment and Forest. Then completed PDD and other reports submitted to DNA designated national authority for approval. Ensure that government retains sovereignty over natural resources. Confirm that project meets sustainable development criteria, and the design document and host country approval documents submitted to the valid, that is designated operational entity. Then once it is given to designated operational entity, they will make it public for 30 days. They will advertisement in website so that everybody can go and review the project and give their comments. All the stakeholder can go, and if anybody object it, they can also raise the objection in this forum. So what is the task of DOE during this period? Public consultation process 30 days, validation of CDM project against requirements, submission of CDM project to CDM executive board. Then the task of CDM executive board is a review and registration of CDM project. They can review it. After that, they can reject it, or they can register of the CDM project. Some example how the CDM projects, number of projects applied, and a number of projects validated. There are some statistics. So this is a very old data. new data is different. Then once that is happen, once the CDM project is registered, it has to be implemented, it has to be work in force, then it has to be monitored. So what are the steps monitoring required upon project implementation in accordance with the monitoring plan described in the design document for the entire crediting period, and must at least cover technical project performance, then monitoring report submitted to DOE for verification. So the monitoring report for each year, periodically it has to be submitted. Then the DOE can verify the monitoring report. Verification of data, accuracy of completeness, and collection in accordance with the monitoring plan can be done. Preparation of verification report and certificate report to CDM, EB, and public. So the DOE will prepare the report and also put in public for any comment or objection, and also submit to CDM executive board. The task of CDM executive board, they will approve the issuance of CR and transfer into account. So once the CR will be credited to the project developer's account, then the project developer will have CR balance. So once they have CER balance, they can sell it. Okay. So business mechanism on CDM. Then projects can be divided into short-term project, fast-track project, long-term project based on the duration of the project. CDM process not feasible for small projects, high transaction cost, and many small projects deliver significant local sustainable development benefits. Small scale technologies are some of the most promising for solving the long-term problems of climate change. Example, solar, wind, fuel cells, etc. CDM might lose public support if rules are biased towards a large capital intensive projects. So what happened? See, small scale project, they will face challenge of finance. So, but long term projects, they can sustain with a financial viability. So even some small projects can combine to make a large project also. So these small scale projects are divided into three categories. So how they are divided, the CDM small scale project, type 1 project, type 2 project, and a type 3 project. In type 2 project, actually they are these small projects are based on the renewable energy like wind, solar, hydro, etc. So renewable energy projects with a capacity up to 15 megawatt is classified as a type 1 project. Then energy efficiency projects with up to 15 gigawatt per year reduction on the demand and supply side, that is a type 2 project. So we will discuss what is energy efficiency project. Energy efficiency project can be divided into two types. One is a supply side energy efficiency. Another is demand side energy efficiency. So any project, if the energy efficiency can be increased, then it is directly proportional to the reduction of carbon dioxide, because CO2 energy comes only after CO2 emission. So if we increase the efficiency, then the CO2 reduction will happen. So this type of project up to 15 gigawatt is considered as a type 2 project. Type 3 projects which reduce emission and are limiting less than 15 kiloton of CO2 per year. That is one ton of CO2 is 1 CR. So there are 15 kiloton, 15,000 tons of CO2 if they can reduce, then that are the type 2, type 3 projects. So this is how is one case study how a CR is earned. One CR is one ton CO2 reduction. So if in a CDM project, if 1 ton of CO2 is reduced, then this is equivalent to earning of 1 CER. And the cost of CER also fluctuate. Sometimes it is 25 to 30 euro, but it depends upon market situation. Just like the price of other commodities, they fluctuates day to day. CER prices are fluctuate also in international market. So it depends on the agreement between buyer and seller and the demand and supply situations. So how are CER sold? Carbon funds are available through international tenders or CDM projects. Voluntary corporate initiatives, mutual funds, EU commitment for carbon purchase, and bilateral negotiation with the consortium of buyers. So the average price CR is 7.5 US dollar to dollar in 2005, and the price range in 2005 was 3 to 14 US dollar. So 1 ton of CO2 equivalent is 1 CER, and this is the price range. How they are traded? International tender for CDM projects. So there may be a tender. Companies can apply to get a tender for to obtain the CO2 and getting CER. Then voluntary corporate initiative. Big corporate, they can also announce that they can purchase CER from the market if it is available. Mutual funds, just like money mutual funds, similarly CER mutual funds also there and traded in the exchanges. Then European Union commitment for carbon purchase. There is a fund. All European Union commitmented this, and there also CER can be sold. Then bilateral negotiation with the consortium of buyers. Okay. Bilateral negotiation between the countries or parties. So what determines the CER price? The price of CER. It is like a commodity, and any commodity price depends on supply and demand. So how the demand increase or decrease? So demand can increase by putting carbon tax. In developed countries, they put carbon tax. That means if you emit carbon dioxide, you have to pay tax, or you can nullify that carbon dioxide emission by purchasing CER. If some other country can reduce carbon dioxide, you can purchase that. So then you can compensate that carbon tax. So if a company has to pay more tax, that means the demand of CR increases.
قاعد نحضر على الزوم فصلوا النت.
So whenever there is a negotiation, they see a lot of points for CER, like likelihood seller will deliver variable reduction on schedule, means that timing of this achieve the CER, credit worthiness and experience of project developer, technological viability of the project. Liabilities the seller is willing to take if project fails to deliver, or non-delivery and willful default, gross negligence. Vintage in some markets, early vintage until 2012, that is the commitment period, are priced higher. If there is no commitment, the price may come down. Likelihood of host country approval and environmental and social compliance and additional benefits. So like any project, the price, the cost of CR also depend. So this is a projected future demand for CER. So depending upon the policy of UNFCCC and this political situation of world political situation, it is estimated that the CER prices will increase. So there is a demand of CER. So these are the some questions which is you can go through it. Then CDM pre-screen tool. That means how a project will be screened to be eligible for CDM. So the first point is its purpose and content. The purpose of the project should be, CO2 reduction. That should be the purpose, and the content. Then some of the tools, screening tools used are, is the project eligible for CDM? They will ask 11 questions. If the 11 questions are yes, then the project is eligible for CDM. Then part 2, the calculation of greenhouse gas calculation, and part 3 is financial feasibility. So basically, the screening tool consists of 3 things. One is eligibility. 11 questions should be yes, and how the GHG calculation and financial feasibility. So they are available in the UNFCCC website, and somebody can directly go and check it. Just like I can give one example, Arogya Setu app. Arogya Setu app is available. Everybody has to download and check whether they are safe or unsafe. Similarly, this available in this UNFCCC website, somebody can check whether a project is eligible or not. So in the pre-screening tool, questionnaires are there. So here you have to give answers. Okay, then if the answers are satisfactory, then we can assume that the project is eligible for this CDM. Okay, here it comes
Excuse me, sir.
It comes like a Excel sheet, main page, CDM eligibility, GHG calculation. You can see the bottom of the Excel page. It comes like this, and one can check. Okay, normally the industry which is going for a CDM project can check by putting data in the Excel sheet whether their project is eligible or not. So what are the questions? These are the questions. Has the host country ratified to Kuwait protocol? Yes or no? Has the host country assigned a designated national authority? Yes or no? First thing should be yes. Second thing also should be Yes. Then build the project reduce emission types under the Kyoto Protocol. What GHG it is reducing, carbon dioxide or methane. Then it will calculate the equivalent of CO2 equivalent of the GHG. Suppose one industry is reducing methane emission. So what is the equivalent of carbon dioxide reduction? I think one methane is having 21 times carbon dioxide, 21 times potential of carbon dioxide. That means 1 mole of methane reduction is equivalent to 21 mole of carbon dioxide reduction. Similarly, there is a equivalent of this. That's why the CER is expressed as a CO2 equivalent reduction. Then the next is, does the country meet sustainable development requirements in host country based on economy, ecology, and societal things? Creation of employment, reduction of air pollution, and improved availability of public service. So it should be yes, yes, yes. Then only it will be eligible. Then next is CDM eligibility, that is the calculation of this certified emission reduction. So I think we are running out of time, and we will close here. This is the important certified emission reduction. So they have to the emission reductions are additionals. That means when they are implementing the project, the new technique is actually reducing the CO2 emission. That is represented graphically here. In the y-axis, it is the GHG emission. Ton of CO2 equivalent is taken in y-axis. In x-axis, this is time. Project implementation, it is a time, that is year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, like this. For example, you can see this is the zero reference. From zero reference, one company is trying to reduce CO2. So they started a CDM project. So to frame the CDM project, it took some time. That means it has gone to DOE, then DNA, then EV, and the project is registered. All the formality, application to registration and approval happened during this time. Now at this point, the project idea also implemented. So once it is implemented, the CO2 emission started decreasing. The CO2 emission started decreasing. Now it is decreasing, and with respect to time. This is a typical example. So if there was no implementation, that means the business as usual means this line is the emission baseline or business as usual, and this blue line is the CO2 reduction after implementation of the CDM project. So the carbon dioxide CO2 reduction is calculated based on this, and also it has also verified and given the certificate. So this has to be satisfactorily explained, this timeline graph, and how much CO2 reduction is expected to achieve by implementation of the project. So if this is accepted, then the CDM project will have, eligibility pass can be granted in the CO2 CDM project. Okay. This is the important things. This graph and representation you can understand for some exam point of view. Then another other questions are emission reduction additional? That means a company